Greetings! Let's talk about the Star Trek movie, the new Star Trek movie, Star Trek Into Darkness. I saw it just the other night, and I was very impressed, but as you can probably guess, I'm kind of a science fiction nerd, and I grew up on Star Trek, so I have a very vested interest. I have emotional connections with these characters, and I thought it was pretty great. I'd like to share my feelings on the movie with you guys. I'll give you a little bit of a review, and the first half of this video will have absolutely no spoilers at all in it, and I will warn you, so you don't have to be worried about the spoiling, because I know spoilers are the worst. I hate them. Spoilers are worse than doing time in a Klingon prison camp. Spoilers are worse than trying to have an argument with a Vulcan. Spoilers are like a warp core breach to your favorite fandom. So that said, I really enjoyed this movie. The experience was made a lot richer if you'd seen the 2009 Star Trek reboot. You kind of got to know the characters a little bit, and you were just thrown right into the thick of it with this movie. And I thought that was really, really cool. It was a very action-y movie. Lots of get down, explosions and photon torpedoes and ships doing, ship things all through space. That is exciting, and in the past that is something that has been hard for people who are not super into Star Trek to get past. That sometimes Star Trek moves kind of slowly, and I love that about the Star Trek TV series and the previous movies. Generally they're a bit more philosophical than these movies have been. These movies are a little bit more run and gun and a little bit less let's stop and talk and think about it. But I think that is great in a lot of ways. It's making it accessible to a lot more people. So that is cool. I hope in the future movies they spend a little bit more time on the philosophy of Star Trek. I did enjoy it, but in a lot of ways Star Trek Into Darkness felt like an action movie with a Star Trek paint job. Just like a Star Trek Instagram filter on it. Personally, my favorite part of the new Star Trek had to be Simon Pegg. He was very underutilized in the first movie playing the engineer Scotty, and they used him a lot more in this movie, and he is just hilarious. He's one of my favorite actors, and it's the kind of thing where everything he says is hilarious. And I was really excited to see him have kind of a meteor role. They gave him a lot of important stuff to do, but he was still able to make it really, really entertaining. I think from here on out there are going to be some light to medium spoilers, so if you don't want that, now is the time to go watch that. You can click right there and you can go to another one of my videos. 3, 2, 1, here we go. I really have to applaud the marketing of this movie. Watching the trailers, I usually try to avoid watching trailers because I don't want to get spoiled, but the trailers of this film were so misleading, and they put so many disparate scenes together and made them look like they were all happening at the same time, that I was spoiled by the trailer, but I was wrong. I was led to believe that certain things would happen, and they obviously they did not. So that was really cool. Also, the secrecy surrounding Benedict Cumberbatch's character. Can I just stop this review right now and just keep saying his name? Benedict Cumberbatch. The secrecy surrounding his character in the marketing and the first half of this film I thought was really interesting. And then of course the reveal of what his character actually means was hugely impactful for people who have a history in Trek and like it. So I thought that was really, really neat. The spoilers are going to keep getting worse from here, so you can't say I did not warn you. I thought the fact that they chose to acknowledge past Star Trek films while still rebooting them and sort of turning things that we thought we understood on their head and changing things around, maybe different characters do different things that we already expected to have happen, I thought that was really neat. The concept of Kirk and Spock mirroring each other in so many ways, what would you do in my position, what would you do in my position, is kind of, throughout the whole film is brought up, and I thought that was really neat how they used that, how they used the relationship between those two characters, and how they're very, very different people, but they somehow end up coming to the same conclusion. And that's not like a Kirk-Spock shipping thing. They just came to the same conclusion. That's what I was getting at. Gosh, you guys have dirty minds. Overall, I thought it was a great addition to the Star Trek canon. I hope they continue making these films with the new, old cast. And I think they're really interesting. I think that a lot of people went to this movie to check out J.J. Abrams and see if he was up to the task of directing Star Wars 7, and I would posit that he's already directed 2 Star Wars movies, basically. He just called them Star Trek. And there were moments, especially in this one, that just screamed Star Wars. There's a chase scene in a ship that if it's not the Millennium Falcon, it really wants to be. And they're like basically going through a Death Star trench, and it's very Star Wars-y. I think that's what makes the new Star Trek movies so accessible and so good is that they took the best parts of Star Wars and tried to combine them with Star Trek. I love both Star Wars and Star Trek. That's a thing that can happen. Let me know your thoughts about the movie in the comments below. Please don't put any spoilers in there just because, you know, people will see it. People are going to see it. I will see you very soon, and until then, live long and be brilliant.